the one thing I absolutely adore is to being ignored. No, I mean that in the most sarcastic way possible. Being ignored in terms of friendship, family, romantic relationship perspective, getting to know, or quote unquote, attempting to get to know a woman. Consistency, the failure to communicate, the failure of consistency, and above all, communication. Okay. So you lead somebody on, and then, you lead somebody on, you friend zone somebody, you break up with them, friend zone, ghosting. Experienced everything this entire year, and it's absolute bullshit. And where people lead you on, emotionally manipulate you, mentally mentally manipulate you. And then some cases that actually had happened to me. At the same time, I've become a victim of being ghosted and left up on red. Zero tolerance for liars, cheaters, and people who only see you as an option, and they abuse your heart and try to emotionally manipulate your mind and your heart and your soul, and try to corrupting and misguiding you. So, I mean, if you're not interested in me, just say so. If you only want to fuck me for my beauty and my physical attraction, just fucking tell me. And be straight up and be honest with me. Don't fucking lead me on. Don't fucking sit there and this, that, or the other, because I've been a victim of a lot of shit this year. I've been a victim of, and I hate to play that victim mentality because I don't believe in that shit. But what has been done to me throughout this entire year has been nothing short of disappointments and disgusting, repulsive, toxic people, narcissists, people who only care about themselves, and they care for their own agenda and their goals and their best interests, their own ambitions, so they don't care. They care nothing of how I feel. They care nothing for me personally, and that's where I'm at. And it's absolutely disgusting. That shit needs to stop. And anymore, I'm having to match energies. Any longer, I'm having to remind myself that I'm enough, that I pour into others' cups, and only to find mine left empty, or it's not reciprocal. And people always see you for a lot less than what you deserve. They treat you a lot less than what you deserve. And me personally, I started to believe in everything being reciprocal. Everything should be equal terms. I know my worth anymore. I expect others to reciprocate the same time and effort and energy and respect that I push out onto others, and I expect to have that reciprocated and deliver back to me, because it's only fair. And everything that I've ever done was to be there for others, to do right by everybody else, and to simply be the best version of myself possible. I'm always having to do right by everybody else. I'm a romantic at heart. I've always been brutally honest. I've always been open book. I've always open lines of communication. I've always been honest and straight up with everybody else. I come with purest intentions, and my intentions are clear. I'm wanting to celebrate somebody else to have a successful future with me, to be there for me as I am for her, finding one woman to celebrate my entire future with, and truly loyal, being there for her, loving and affectionate, romantic, everything else. And I've had the worst luck with the worst toxic women this year. I swear to God, worst toxic women. I can admit when I fuck up, when I do something wrong, and I apologize, I try to make amends, I move forward, I no longer staying up in my past, I'm not living in my past. And all that I do is I try to I make amends, I apologize, find forgiveness in each other, that sort of thing. That's cool. But when it comes down to the wire of people just leading you on, ghosting you, you could treat that person so well, so beyond perfect, out of this world, extraordinary. You could be the most extraordinary thing possible to that person, and that person does not reciprocate anything to you. I got this one woman in my life. I'm not going to say her name as much as I really, really want to, but she's confused in her life, and start out like a friends with benefit, casual dating kind of shit. And then somewhere along the lines, obviously, like, start saying, you really like each other, emotions get involved. And then, you know what, it comes to full circle reminding myself that I am empowered, I am enough, I am everything that I set my mind to, because mindset is absolutely everything and crucial. And I deserve happiness, I deserve respect, I deserve to be treated like a human being and not to be treated lesser of a human being. And I deserve to have my respect, my time, my energy, my heart, my love, my everything reciprocated as I have done for others. And it's not fair to me that I do all this, I do everything in the entire world for somebody else, and it's never reciprocated. It's never enough for somebody else. Being a good person and being honest and be straightforward and being the best, close to perfection human being possible is never enough for anybody else. So I'm here to remind myself, like, I'm enough. I matter most to myself, if not to anybody else. Whatever. And then they get hung up and they get pissed off when they see you in the arms of another woman, or like, being friends with somebody else and this and that. A whole full circle goes around with this drama. And it's nothing that I've done wrong. It's what they've done wrong. And then they don't fucking see it. In their narcissistic eyes and perspective, they don't see it, because they see it as like, okay, I've done nothing wrong. Like, come on, let's fucking be real. Let's be honest. You cannot lead somebody on, emotions get involved, and then you say, you don't even say anything. You don't even communicate anything. It's not like, you don't say, like, you don't even open your mouth and say, like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in you anymore. My feelings are not validated in you any longer. I don't see you as that any longer. Or throw me a bone or something. Throw me a hint or something. Don't just run off in the distance and become distant and cold and silence yourself and fucking, I'm just tired of it. So I deserve respect. I deserve to be treated like a fucking human being. And if I don't matter to anybody else, nobody else fucking matters to me. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. Burning fucking bridges. Burning fucking bridges because I'm fucking empowered. I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. And that's it. And it fucking gets to me. It fucking pisses me off to no end that of all things in this world, the very thing that a woman wants most out of a man, out of a real man like myself, okay? And when that time comes, and when she's finally met with a real person, a real man like myself, they self-sabotage. They run. They hide. They are not open with their emotions, their intentions. They're not even honest with themselves. So they self-sabotage it. And then they fuck over a real one like myself. And then they wonder, why am I single? Why am I so miserable? Why is life not going as well as I planned it to be? Well, it's because of you self-sabotaging yourself. You don't see it. You don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe that you're wrong. You don't want to point out the displays of your narcissism, your toxicity. You just don't want to see it, to believe it. Believing it is an entirely a realm of impossibility, because people lack common sense. They lack accountability. Accountability is everything to me, okay? So anyway, that's my story.